All right. Hello, everybody. Sorry, we have like lots of breaking news that hit. I kid you not, in the last 5 minutes. So all of a sudden, I was like running around checking the news, putting on CNN, which of course I love that CNN doesn't have the news yet. Let me start TikTok. But it always drives me crazy. It's weird. Like you can get the news online before it hits the news channels, which blows my mind. All right. Woo, there we go. All right, we are ready here. Let me Instagram. All right. Oops, let me get this. Sorry, this doesn't disappear on me. Sorry, Substack. All right. Hey guys, hello TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, everybody. There's my Substackers, 3 of you. Excellent. There we go. Okay, we are good now. We are good to go. All right. Like I said, lots of breaking news here that we are going to be talking about. Kind of crazy to have stuff happening last minute, but it is. Hello, TikTok. Oh my God, so much news. Sip of water and we jump in. La la la. Yes, Paula, I did not know, so I went onto TikTok or Twitter and grabbed, not TikTok, I don't trust TikTok for news. I went onto Twitter and actually consulted my experts. So, all right, guys, welcome. John Aravosis here. We've got breaking news from Iran. Trump just bombed them again. We've got breaking news from the trade courts. Trump's tariffs were struck down again. And he's going, which is absolutely fabulous. He's going to China in a couple weeks to discuss trade, and the trade court just killed his tariffs. The 10% tariff is gone. It's gone. He's lost his leverage he had with China. I freaking love this. I absolutely freaking love it. So this is quite funny. We'll talk about that in a minute. Welcome, guys. John Aravosis here. We're here to talk about the latest news. We're going to start with a couple of breaking stories. As I said, Trump just bombed Iran. The trade court just struck down Trump's tariffs. Then we're going to jump into the rest of the Iran discussion. Crazy stuff. But let me pull up the news here about Iran, because that was literally the stuff that just hit. Trump is apparently, God, he's such an idiot. He's just such an idiot. So Trump, anyway, welcome, guys. If you can, of course, I'll do, oh, there we go. Thank you, Diana. Diana just did a super gift on TikTok. I love that gift. I think it's like this devil fox thing. If you can give gifts, I very much appreciate it. They support my work, but I'll stop pitching the gifts. So Trump just bombed Iran, claimed it was for retaliation for Iran attacking our ships on Sunday. You may recall, oh, here we go. We got the Reuters story. You may recall that on Sunday, I was going to get into this later, but since it's breaking news, let's do it now. Sunday, Trump was going to do escorts of ships through the Strait of Hormuz, Operation Freedom, he was calling it, and announced, oh, big deal, they escorted like 2 ships. 150 ships normally go through every day. He escorted 2 ships, and it was like, ooh, 2 out of 150, that's pretty good. Then the next day, he canceled it, remember? And do you remember how he canceled it? It was really weird because he goes, Pakistan has asked me to cancel, Operation Freedom, where we escort the ships. So we're no longer going to escort them because Pakistan thinks it'll help the negotiations if we keep the strait closed. And you're going, but the negotiations are going really well, he says. And you're like, well, if the negotiations are going really well, why would you have to keep the strait closed? Wouldn't negotiations be going well and mean the strait can be open? Well, Iran then fires at the 2 ships. Iran fires at the U.S. Navy escorting the ships. This is Sunday, mind you. Trump does not respond. So Iran fires at the U.S. Navy twice. Trump does not respond. Today, 5 days later, Trump is finally responding to Iran and firing back. 5 days later. Mind you, they're in the middle of peace negotiations. Trump put like a peace proposal out to Iran like 2 days ago, or 2 or 3 days ago. And Iran was considering it, and Iran just got back and said, oh, that's interesting, we'll consider it. So today's news was going to be Iran is considering this peace proposal, at least an initial peace proposal, which we're going to talk about in a minute. Well, in the middle of Iran considering the peace proposal, now Trump just bombed them again, which isn't really a great move if you're in the middle of peace negotiations. Now, he should have bombed them on Sunday, like when Iran actually attacked the U.S. Navy on Sunday. That would have been a good time to, I don't know, maybe attack Iran back, right? That would be when you do it. You don't wait 5 days, and then now that we're in the middle of peace negotiations, you're bombing Iran as revenge for Sunday? Let me read you this from Reuters. The U.S. military said it carried out retaliatory strikes on Iran on Thursday, targeting sites it said were responsible for attacking U.S. forces in what it called unprovoked hostilities by Tehran. Earlier, Iran's top joint military command said the U.S. had violated a ceasefire by targeting an Iranian oil tanker and another ship entering the Strait of Hormuz and striking civilian areas. U.S. CENTCOM eliminated inbound threats, blah, 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 blah. Let me see here. I just don't even, I have no idea. We're still not sure what the hell is going on. For example, okay, it's not clear whether this retaliation is for Sunday or for something new. It's just, we have no idea. It's possible, oh, there were renewed attacks. Okay, CBS News. 2 U.S. Navy destroyers transiting the Strait of Hormuz came under renewed attack on Thursday, enduring what American officials described as a fiercer and more sustained Iranian assault than the barrage the warships faced only days. Aha! Okay. The U.S. Navy gets attacked on Sunday. Trump does nothing to retaliate. And I talked about it on the show. I quoted you guys experts yesterday or the day before. Experts saying, this is inviting disaster. This is literally an invitation to the Iranians to attack us again, because they attacked us and Trump didn't retaliate, right? Well, what happened? They attacked us again. So for some crazy reason, the Iranians decided to attack 2 U.S. Navy destroyers today. I don't know what the hell's going on there, because supposedly we're in the middle of these peace negotiations that Trump keeps saying are going really well, and Iran just turned around and attacked 2 U.S. Navy destroyers. So we went to, and mind you, we attacked them back, and Trump is claiming, oh, the ceasefire is still in effect. The ceasefire is not broken. We're just attacking each other. Mind you, the stock market's just been doing better because those bozos have believed that this was real. Oil prices came down, although they kind of went up a little today. Oil prices came down because all those idiots, again, believed Trump, oh, we're doing negotiations, it's going great. Gas prices did not believe Trump. Gas prices are still up there. But oh my God. I'm sure the U.S. is saying the latest strikes are defensive. They are, but the U.S. is hitting Iran because Iran hit. The fact that Iran fired at the U.S. Navy is insane. Why the hell would Iran do that? We're not being told what's going on here. There's something weird going on, right? Why they would attack U.S. Navy. I'm sorry, but to me that seems really strange. Just U.S. Navy patrolling. Very strange. Whether maybe the U.S. Navy was escorting civilian ships again, something's going on, right? Something's going on. I don't know. I know Iran is kind of turning into the honey badger at this point. So that's the breaking news from Iran. We are now at war again with Iran, except Trump is claiming, no, we're not. Iran attacked the U.S. Navy today. The U.S. Navy attacked Iran back. But the ceasefire hasn't been broken. We're just bombing each other. And the talks are going really well. Sure. Well, the U.S. Navy, I think, is in the water anyway, Attawale. Attawale said, why would the U.S. Navy be in the water again? I think the U.S. Navy is in the water anyway. And the U.S. Navy kind of has no choice but to keep patrolling because Iran doesn't have the right to shut down the strait. And as soon as we don't go there, I would argue, we need to kind of keep being there, assuming it's safe enough. We don't have enough information as to what something's going on here, and we don't quite know what it is. That's sort of my take on this. It's bingo. Karine says it's all one big mess. That's exactly it. This is a big cluster F right now. It's not clear what's going on. That's a possibility too. Paul just said something I was thinking of. I think that's what Paul means. It's not clear who's running Iran right now either, which might be what Paul meant. The big discussion has been the civilian leaders, the president, the foreign minister, whatever, versus the military leaders of the Revolutionary Guard, who are the crazy religious military people, right? That's now what Up Morale says. Also was reported UAE sent some drones at Iran. Ooh, that's interesting. This is not going well. That's what I'm saying. This feels like something a little out of control today, right? And again, ironically, thank you Till Dawn for the gift on TikTok. Keep them coming, guys. Ironically, the story that came out right before the show started, I was going to tell you guys, thank you, son, appreciate the gift, was that Iranian officials are discussing with the U.S. Trump's little one-page plan that Trump was putting out there, the Iranians were considering it, at least considering part of it. So the story that came out today was Iran said, yes, we got Trump's plan and we are considering it. So we are talking, right? Which is good news. And now we're bombing each other again. And maybe UAE's involved as well. This is crazy. Absolutely crazy. Yeah, I don't know. Some people were having volume. Is anybody else having a volume problem? Not a volume. Some people couldn't hear on TikTok, but the rest of you are not complaining, so I'm assuming it's okay. Man, oh man, oh man. All good? Okay, good. All right. So let's talk about trade. We're going to talk about Iran in a second. There's more Iran stuff. New York Times. This story just broke literally 5 minutes before the show started. New York Times. A federal trade court ruled on Thursday that President Trump's nearly universal 10% tariff is illegal. The loss marked a new legal setback for the White House, which imposed the duties earlier this year as a temporary replacement to the initial slate of punishing duties struck down by the Supreme Court. So these were the tariffs that Trump imposed when the Supreme Court struck down the other tariffs. So Trump's new tariffs to replace the old tariffs are now illegal as well, and they're gone. Ha! The New York Times. The administration is already working on its next plan for tariffs, but those levies can't be implemented immediately. It has proposed 2 trade investigations under a legal provision known as Section 301, one related to global laws against trade in goods made with forced labor, and another on other countries' manufacturing capacity. Hearings were held on those measures this and last week. But the administration was counting on the Section 122 tariffs that were struck down today to last until July. It's only May, 2 months from now. And those measures may not be ready for weeks or months. The court ruling also puts the administration on a back foot at a critical time. President Trump is preparing to travel to China next week to meet the Chinese leader Xi Jinping and negotiate over trade, and the decision could undercut his leverage. Yeah. I'm sorry. I think it's hilarious because this guy has been breaking the law left and right. I'm a little annoyed that it took the courts a year and a half to catch up with him. But, you know, although this is less than a year and a half because this was imposed, these tariffs were imposed when the Supreme Court struck down the other tariffs. So this is good. And frankly, all of these tariffs are taxes on American. These are not taxes on China. They're not taxes on the world. These are taxes that Trump put on American products, inflation that he put on American products, and now he doesn't get to do it. La, 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 la. So this was the New York Times article that I was going to read you about Iran, putting aside for a moment the fact that apparently we are bombing Iran and Iran is bombing us. The New York Times reported that Iranian officials, thank you, Kenneth, very cool gift. Iranian officials said on Thursday that their country is discussing with the U.S. a one-page proposal to reopen the Strait of Hormuz and end hostilities for 30 days while trying to reach a more comprehensive settlement. The Times reports that the plan has 3 main points: the lifting of the U.S. blockade on Iranian ships and ports, the opening of the strait to commercial traffic, and an end to the fighting. Now, the thing is, that's just temporary. They're saying U.S. no longer embargoes Iran, Iran opens up the Strait of Hormuz, and we stop bombing each other, and then for the next 30 days we negotiate all the other stuff. Now, the U.S., of course, wants restrictions on Iran's nuclear capability. Iran is pushing back on that. This article, I think, went to some of the details. The key stumbling block preventing the agreement is what to do about Iran's nuclear enrichment and its stockpile of highly enriched uranium. The U.S. wants Iran to agree in principle to hand over its entire stockpile and suspend its enrichment program for 20 years. Iran instead has proposed diluting some of the uranium, sending the rest to a third country, possibly Russia, and suspending its program for a shorter time, say 10 to 15 years. Who knows? You know, the problem is, even this, I mean, this temporary deal isn't bad because it would open up the strait and at least oil and gas would go flowing again and a lot of other stuff for fertilizer and everything else. It would still be continuing a ceasefire for 30 more days, and then they'd be negotiating what else to do. Now, you know, it also means Iran gets the next 30 days of exporting its oil, because Iran is in danger very soon of having problems where its oil gets shut down. Although, and I'm going to read you this story in a minute, it appears that a new spy assessment of Iran is that actually they had a much longer period that they could go before our blockade of them was going to really put them in trouble. That it was going to take months before that'll have an impact, and I'm sure that's affecting what's going on with Trump. What else we got here? That's what I was going to read to you. John Hudson with the Washington Post. A confidential new CIA analysis delivered to policymakers this week concludes that Iran can survive the U.S. naval blockade for at least 3 to 4 months before facing more severe economic hardship, a finding that contradicts those hailing an imminent collapse. U.S. intel also indicates that Iran listen to this. This is CIA analysis via the Washington Post. U.S. intelligence also indicates that Iran retains about 75% of its pre-war inventories of mobile launchers and about 70% of its pre-war stockpiles of missiles. Trump claimed we destroyed all their missiles. We only destroyed 70 to 70. We only destroyed 25 to 30%. The regime has also been able to recover underground storage facilities and repair damaged missiles. This week, Trump painted a more dire picture of Iran's situation, saying their economy is crashing, their currency is worthless, thank you, Cheryl, and their missiles are mostly decimated. He claimed their missiles were mostly decimated. We've destroyed 25 to 30% of their missiles, we now say, according to the CIA. This is what pisses me off, and I'm going to say this again. I was telling people on TikTok this earlier. I have lived in Washington for 40 years, sadly. Like 40 years I've lived here, more or less. And people think, oh, everybody lies in Washington. Everybody doesn't lie in Washington. That's the first point. Second point, when they do lie, they don't lie like this guy. This guy lies about everything. Trump is a pathological. Nobody lies like him. Republican presidents don't lie like Donald Trump. Democratic presidents don't lie like Donald Trump. You might be able to find a lie if you try really hard that Reagan made or Bush made or Obama made or Biden made, but they don't lie every minute of the day like Donald Trump does. This stuff blows my mind. He just claimed that what was this? Their missiles are mostly decimated, Trump claimed. This week, Trump claimed. Iran's missiles are mostly decimated. The CIA says Iran retains 75% of its pre-war inventories of mobile launchers and 70% of its pre-war stockpiles of missiles. So Trump said Iran's missiles were mostly decimated. We only destroyed 30% of them. Not even destroyed. Destroyed because the number of missiles were used. So we didn't destroy 30%. We destroyed under 30%, and the rest of them Iran fired at our ships, at its neighbors, and at Israel, right? So maybe we destroyed 20 to 25% of Iran's missiles. Maybe. Trump claimed most of them. He freaking lied outright. And what bothers me is he's updating Americans on a war that he got us into, and he's lying about how well the war is going. And we have to judge, and our lawmakers have to judge, whether we approve or disapprove of this war based on what Trump is telling us, and he's lying. He's completely flat out lying about how the war is going. How the hell are we supposed to judge how we feel about a war when we know the pathological liar that he is just lying? Yeah, mostly decimated. Mostly decimated. They've got 70% of their missiles left, and Trump claimed their missiles are mostly decimated. No, that's a pathological lie. Absolute pathological lie. More here. Quote, one of the U.S. officials said they thought Iran's capacity to sustain prolonged economic hardship is far greater than even the current CIA estimate. The leadership has gotten more radical, determined, and increasingly confident they can outlast U.S. political will and sustain domestic repression to check any resistance inside Iran, the official said. Comparatively, you see similar regimes lasting years under sustained embargoes and air power. Thank you, Wayne, for the galaxy. That gives you a screaming goat, by the way. Exactly. Regular goat, Christmas goat, Halloween goat, which is a little different. Oversized regular goat, which is the same, but it's huge, which is kind of fun. Or yodeling pickle, we have as well. If he decides which one he wants, let me know, mods. Man. Oh, actually, Gunther, I talked about that one yesterday. Ghosts and what was the other one? It was ghosts and, there was a second thing. What was the second thing? Oh, shit, I'm forgetting what it was now. Ghosts, and there was telepathy. That was it. Yes, telepathy. 1% of Americans more believe in telepathy. Jeffrey wrote teleporting. Teleporting would be funny. No, telepathy. Anyway, did he say which goat he wanted? If not, I'm just going to pick one. Sometimes people don't realize that gift gets them a goat. Let's do the Halloween. The Halloween goat is always popular. Let me find my Halloween goat here. Oh, where did I? Where's my Halloween goat? I have to find the Halloween goat. Where are you hiding? Oh, here it is. He was right in front of me. All right, we'll do a Halloween goat. A Stephen Miller goat would be funny. We like the Halloween goat because it's got the right sound for the news is spooky. Exactly, Lizzie. The news is spooky, so it kind of fits with the. It seems to always fit the topics, unfortunately. You know. All right, what else we got? Gasoline is up to $4.56 a gallon. There's very funny. There's a Trump tweet that people are pulling up. Oh, thank you, Hestio. That's a really cool gift. Thank you for that, Sunset. There's a Trump tweet people are pulling up that exactly this. Trump claims Trump just posted ceasefire still on. We're just blowing each other up. Okay. As only Trump can lie, right? We in Iran are firing missiles at each other. Ceasefire's still going. We're just bombing each other. Okay, that's good. That's good. Trump, there was a Trump tweet from years ago against Obama, and he said, "I just arrived in Palm Beach, and gas prices are $4.50. Obama should resign or something." And I went and checked the gas prices in Palm Beach today because under Obama, Trump, I can look for. I don't think if I can find the. I can look for the tweet. It's not always easy to find these things when we're in the middle of a show because I usually have like more tweets. But let me do I will do a quick look. Oh, I found it. Here we go. Arrived in Palm Beach, drove by a gas station, $4.50 a gallon, result of failed Obama leadership. Failed Obama leadership. So you guys, arrived in Palm Beach, drove by a gas station, $4.50 a gallon, result of failed Obama leadership. I checked the prices in Palm Beach. They're up to $4 and I think 67 cents today. Under $4.50, he said failed Obama leadership in Palm Beach. Right now, they're $4.67. They're even higher under Trump. It's like, ha. West Texas oil was flat today. Thank you, Steve, for the drumming chipmunk. West Texas oil is flat today. Did not go up. Brent crude was up 2.3% today. Hello, dog. And the price of ground beef just hit a national average of $6.70. Ground beef is that freaking high? Holy crap. I've been buying mine on sale at like $4, which is still a lot for on sale. $6.70 on average for ground beef? My God. I did not realize it was that much nationally. Holy shit. Wow. That's pretty bad. Gasoline I know has been a problem, obviously. And I kept reading about beef prices, but I didn't realize it had gone up that much. Wow. Chicken's gone up a lot too? Jesus Christ. Okay. Wow. Yeah, like I said, I bought some stuff on sale, and the sale price was $4, and I thought, $4 on sale sounds a little expensive, right? Because $4 might have been what I paid before, and $4 might have been for a little bit of a better beef, you know? Man. Fresh Market, $4.99 a pound on Thursday. Okay, but that's why. Yeah. Yeah, Paul, oh, that's funny. The same in the UK? Yeah. Anyway, hairspray's up. Well, I told you I bought some feta. Oh, by the way, the feta, I was telling you about the feta I bought, that the price they shrunk it and they increased the price. I checked Uber. I've never used Uber for delivering food from Costco. And unless I'm missing something, maybe there's a charge they throw on at the end. The charges were only like $3 or something. And the feta that I just bought for $9 for 8 ounces, I can pay $11 at Costco for 2 pounds. So basically 4 times for almost the same price, I can get 4 times the amount of feta, the same brand, at Costco using Uber. So I'm still trying to figure out my Uber thing to figure out whether there's a fee. Like it's using Uber to deliver from Costco. I've never done it before. But as I said, I'm trying to figure out, am I missing something that the fee is only $3? Because even for the feta alone, it's worth it, let alone other stuff. Anyway, I was very excited. I looked at that last night and I went, holy, maybe it is dynamic pricing. Something's up. It seems, I know they're luring me in. I've never used it before. That's probably why. I'm like, this just seems like there should be a $10, driver's tip, all that kind of crap. And even the tip stuff, I never understand that shit either. Like, are they getting paid? Like, why do we have to tip for everything? You know what I mean? Like, I don't tip my doctor. I don't tip the receptionist. I don't believe in this tipping culture. I'm sorry. Like I said, restaurants, it's bullshit we have to tip, but we don't. Up until now, we haven't really paid people in restaurants, so you've got to tip them, although that's changing now. But the notion of tipping everybody else, why do you tip a cab? A cab's charging me anyway, right? Or an Uber. They're already charging me. Why am I tipping them? And again, I tip them, but I don't tip. How about the lady at the grocery store, right? The lady at the grocery store cannot be making that much money. Maybe she is. I doubt it. I very seriously doubt she's making a ton of money, the cashier at the grocery store. My Uber guy could be making more, but I tip him, but I don't tip her. Anyway, it pisses. Yeah, the baggage handlers at the airport, absolutely. Now, all that stuff really seems weird to me. You know, well, and the delivery fee thing, exactly, Flying Medic. I used to when I used to use Instacart for a while, and I stopped tipping because they had like gratuity. Instacart has all these crazy fees, and then they had gratuity. Remember, was thrown on there, and then tip was extra, and I was like, what the fuck is the gratuity? What do you mean? I'm paying a gratuity that you just added on, and then I'm supposed to add a tip? A gratuity is a tip. Whatever. Don't get me started. Yeah, but. Let them know I appreciate it. Why don't I let the grocery clerk know I appreciate her? Why don't I let the guy who checks my receipt on the way out? He's definitely not getting paid a lot of money to make sure I didn't steal any. Why don't I give him a tip? That's what I mean. Like, I don't get the janitor. Exactly. Like, I don't get this concept of who we're supposed to tip. It just seems, it's very arbitrary. Again, Uber I'm supposed to tip, but not the lady at the grocery store who I guarantee you makes less than the Uber guy. Anyway, it pisses me off. All right, what else we got here? I mean, there's a lot of news today otherwise. Oh, this is interesting. So Republicans are quoting former Biden Energy Secretary Jennifer Granholm, who said at the time, back in like 2001, 2002, excuse me, 2022 or so, the president does not control the price of gasoline. And they're writing that quote and saying, oh, what changed? Why are we blaming Trump today? Why are we blaming Trump today? Because Trump is taking credit for shutting down the Strait of Hormuz that made the price of oil and gasoline skyrocket, gasoline by like 60%. Also, Donald Trump, I've got the video, I don't even think I'm going to play it. Donald Trump admitted on video in the last day and said, yeah, gas prices or oil prices are up to $100, but you know what? I thought they were going to go up to $200 when I did this, and even $200 would have been worth it. Had oil prices gone up to $200, it would have, that's exactly right, Bob. If oil prices went up to $200, gasoline prices could have gone up to $10 a barrel here, or a gallon on average. I mean, California, they're already heading that way. But I mean, but it cracks me up how they're saying, Republicans are trying to say, why do you blame Trump for the price of gasoline? Trump himself admits he's responsible for gasoline prices. I mean, this isn't even I don't think I need to explain this to you guys, obviously. This is gaslighting. I mean, this is just hoping that maybe the cult says, yeah, they didn't blame Biden. Why do we blame Trump? Because Biden didn't do something that caused the gas prices to go up. Trump literally did. And now Trump is taking credit for it. Remember, Trump keeps saying, oh, Iran didn't shut down the Strait of Hormuz. I shut down the Strait of Hormuz. It was Iran wants it open. It was my plan all along to shut it down. It's like, okay, we'll be happy to use that quote for the upcoming election. Trump's ballroom. It is looking more and more like Trump's ballroom is costing $1.4 billion. Washington Post reported today that basically the way the Post framed it was the ballroom itself cost $400 million. And Trump did maybe get money, maybe from the private sector for the ballroom, but he needs an extra $1 billion for security enhancements. Now, the problem with that becomes, what does that mean, right? Because, well, a couple things here. First of all, Lindsey Graham last week wanted $400 million for the ballroom itself. Graham said, and that number wasn't coincidental, right? Trump had said the ballroom was going to cost $400 million. Lindsey Graham then said, well, Congress is going to appropriate $400 million for the ballroom. There's no way Lindsey Graham was talking about security, right? That security just happens to be $400 million for the ballroom that also costs $400 million. Come on, right? Then they said they wanted $1 billion only for security. And it was like, what? I think the price of the ballroom is $1.4 billion. This freaking ballroom went up from $200 million originally, exactly, Sarah, $200 million originally to $1.4 billion for a ballroom. I mean, look, the East Wing was fine. They just had the king there, the king of England, as we call it, king of the UK. That sounds so weird in English to say that. But they just had the king. It's fine. They would do the dinners in the East Wing. They looked fine. They can't do them anymore in the East Wing because he destroyed them. They're fine. I mean, I went to the White House Christmas party. They used to have it in the East Wing. It was very, or actually part of it was, well, I'm trying to think. They weren't in the East Wing. They were actually in the East Room of the regular White House, so that's a little different. But nonetheless, they were able to do parties. Actually, my point is they were able to do parties in those rooms. We had the Christmas party or the holiday parties in the same rooms they would use for the balls and things like that, for the state dinners. But what it really galls me that we are in so much economic trouble right now that the dog is whining, but she's not at her water bowl, so I don't think she wants water. She just wants me to give her food. We're in so much economic trouble right now. The budget deficit, my God, our national debt is up to $39 trillion with a T, and this son of a bitch thinks spending another $1.4 billion on a ballroom, what the hell, right? Mind you, he doesn't want to spend $34 billion on my health insurance. My health insurance premiums are going up $4,000 this year because of that SOB, because he doesn't want to spend it, mine and yours if you're on Obamacare. All of our health insurance premiums are going up. That's okay, right? But spending it on a ballroom, again, the ballroom, even like his arch, he claims, also bullshit, right? He claims the arch is going to cost $15 million that, by the way, he stole. He stole the money from the National Endowments for the Art, for the Humanities, which is a crime. He literally can't do it, but he's doing it. And he's claiming it's only going to be $15 million. And I think that's absolute bullshit. Absolute freaking bullshit, right? No way that it's only $15 million. That arch is going to cost $50 million or more. I guarantee you. The security enhancements on the arch are going to be $100 million, right? But like, I mean, that pisses me off enough when we are so over the amount of money we can afford to spend. But for him, $1.4 billion for a freaking ballroom, Marie Antoinette. I mean, what a surprise, though, really, that the guy who put gold all over the White House and all the bullshit he did at the White House that made it look like, again, Marie Antoinette or Liberace lives there, that same guy wants to spend $1.4 billion, and that the Republicans would go along with him. That Republicans in Congress would literally say, yeah, we're going to give him $1 billion more for the ballroom. Yeah, what the hell? I mean, imagine, as I said, imagine if President Obama said, I'd like $1 billion for a ballroom because I decided to knock down a wing of the White House without permission illegally. I just decided to do it, and I want a ballroom. It'd be the biggest. They made a news story out of him wearing a tan suit. That was a scandal. $1.4 billion for a ballroom. CBS, Senate and House Democrats have launched an investigation into whether pardons and commutations issued by Trump were driven by pay-to-play dynamics. Among the pardons being probed by lawmakers are those granted to cryptocurrency billionaire Changpeng Zhao, who pleaded guilty to money laundering, nursing home operator Joseph Schwartz, who was convicted of tax crimes, and entrepreneur Trevor Milton, sentenced to 4 years in prison in 2023 after being convicted of lying to investors. Trump claims that in a few months, his 747 that he's getting from Qatar. Remember, the Qatarians decided to bribe Trump with a $400 million 747 that he's going to use as the new Air Force One. And the Qataris, first of all, gave him the 747, and Trump is going, oh, it's not corrupt because it goes to the U.S. government. It's not going to me. But we found out that Trump has already decided he is going to give the plane to himself when he leaves office by donating it to the Trump Presidential Library, and the Trump Presidential Library will display the 747 after Trump dies. Trump gets to use the plane from when he leaves office until the day he dies, and then the plane goes to the Trump Library. Mind you, this 747 apparently is going to have billions of dollars of security enhancements. You and I are spending billions of dollars to make this plane safe for a president, and he's going to take it. I mean, like, what? So it's more billions that he's taking. I mean, Hunter Biden, $24 million. The entire amount of money the Republicans claimed that Hunter Biden finagled, whatever they claimed, and again, a lot of it was bullshit. Let's pretend it was real. Let's just pretend Hunter Biden did everything the Republicans said. The Republican official report, you can Google it. I got this data from, actually it was National Review is where I got this from, Republican publication. The total amount of money that the House Republicans said that Hunter Biden finagled with all of his deals? $24 million. Trump is getting $1 billion or $2 billion from this plane from Qatar alone, and then a couple billion from the cryptocurrency deals. I mean, it, and the Republicans are just like, la la la, la la la. Oh, but this gets better. So the plane needs like billions of dollars of security. Trump claims, oh, the plane's going to be ready in a couple months. He's going to start using it this summer. The experts I read today, the experts are saying the reason Trump wants this Air Force One, the other ones that we're building are taking years to finish, because when you build a plane that is secure for the President of the United States, it takes years to build a secure plane. Trump took the Qatar plane and basically has them doing a few months of improvements, and that's it, the Qatari plane. And again, the experts say that plane Trump plans to use this summer needs another year or two of security enhancements, and Trump isn't going to do it. He's just going to start using the plane. So our president is going to be conducting the nation's most sensitive business on a plane that isn't secure for foreign enemies spying on us. Which, by the way, he did this all the time with phones during his first administration, too. His staff was doing it, too, but Trump was always using phones that weren't secure because he liked his iPhone, so he kept using it even though it wasn't secure. And again, we just all, the amount of dangerous bullshit we've got along with this guy, you know? Anyway. What else we got? We've got, oh, this is funny. This is good, but you and I both know that this probe I'm about to tell you about is going to get canceled. ABC News. The Department of Justice is investigating a series of suspiciously timed trades in the oil market, just ahead of major announcements by President Trump about the war against Iran. The Department of Justice, along with the CFTC, Consumer Something Trade Commission, maybe? What would it be? What's CFTC? Somebody help me out here. Is probing at least 4 of these trades where traders made a total of more than 2.6 billion, no, CFTC. Is probing at least, fair trade? I still don't know what it means, though. Okay, is it part of the SEC? Who knows? Who knows? I don't know. Probably some stock thing. Maybe it is part of the SEC. Is probing at least 4 of these trades where traders made a total of more than $2.6 billion betting that oil prices would drop right before they did. So 4 trades made $2.6 billion. Commodities Futures Trading Commission. So trading futures, of course, because you're predicting what's going to happen with the markets and the futures. Somebody made 4 trades, or somebodies made 4 trades that totaled more than $2.6 billion with a B, okay? Somehow, these people appear to have known what Donald Trump was going to announce, and they bid on it before. The Department of Justice, under Todd Blanche, is investigating who could it have been that found out, found out what Donald Trump was going to talk about before he talked about it. First of all, they're nuts to investigate this because he's going to kill them, right? What do we think? Now, I guess it's possible it's the Russians, right? It's possible the Russians or the Chinese bugged Trump's phone because you know him and figured this out. It's also possible Trump told somebody repeatedly what was going to happen and they did this. There is, right. Todd Blanche investigated himself and his friends. Maybe not himself, but he's investigating his friends. There is a very good chance Todd Blanche is going to get an answer and he's going to kill this investigation. You just wait. Yep, CFTC is investing manipulations again. Yep, SEC is the stock market. Yep, okay, fair enough. It's all close enough. This is good too. MS Now reports that Kash Patel, who's the FBI director, has ordered polygraphing of more than 24 former and current members of his security detail and other staff, and has been described as in a panic mode to save his job and find leakers among his team. So Patel is upset because The Atlantic keeps doing stories about him being a drunk and basically kind of being drunk on the job is what they were claiming, and his alcohol drinking affecting his job and being missing in action, all this kind of crap, right? Well, Patel is suing The Atlantic for defamation, saying that story's libelous because I am not a drunk, thank you, Garden Girl, and it's not affecting my job. Well, now he's making, let's get, hi dog, no, and you're not going out there. You ate another geranium. You're not going out there. No, no, no. I had to lift my geranium and put it inside another pot, so she discovered another geranium. I'm like, no, you're not going anything. You're not getting anything. No, I had to clean her mouth off today. The problem, she drives me nuts. I love my dog, but like literally getting into she's 16 years old. She's had 16 years not to eat the geraniums. And now suddenly, this is a puppy, but she gets to eat the dirt. I'm like, oh God. This is a puppy. She's literally, this is like the joke about like, people reverting to, they start as infants and they end up as infants. It's like, but literally eating the dirt again. Anyway, this is important though. Kash Patel is suing The Atlantic for defamation, saying your story was false about me, that I'm getting drunk and it's affecting my work and I'm an alcoholic and this kind of crap, right? That the story is false. That's what he's suing them for. He is also making dozens of staffers do polygraphs to find out who leaked the stories to the newspaper. If the stories are false, nobody leaked them. You can't leak false stories, really. So, unless he's saying it's false, but people are leaking false stories about me, maybe. You know what I mean? Like, it's a little weird. Usually leak investigations are who told them the truth, right? You're leaking confidential information. It's not confidential information if it's not true. If you made it up, it's not anything from your work at all if you made it up. Like it's legal for you to release. Anyway, you get it. He's contradicting himself. Oh, this is good. This is good too. Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche, who's again massively MAGA activist, talking of how having the Border Patrol at our election booths to scare Latinos away from voting isn't a big deal. He said today, I'm not sure of the uproar of having a Border Patrol or ICE agent at a polling location. What's the risk? Okay, first of all, it's literally illegal under U.S. law to have Border Patrol or ICE or any other law enforcement or military at a polling booth. Second of all, you should be very disturbed that 5 months, 6 months before the election, we've got the Attorney General, who's a MAGA activist, saying, what's the problem with putting active duty men with guns and masks at our polling booths like this is Russia? What's the problem? Well, the reason they're doing it is they're trying to scare black people, but they're really trying to scare Latinos away from voting. He claimed, we've got to stop illegals from voting. Illegals literally don't vote. It doesn't happen. We're talking, the exact number I'm forgetting, it could be 10 or 20 people who voted illegally in the last 30 years. It's that small. It is literally that small. 10 or 20 out of billions of votes cast over 30 years. They are making this up. And the reason they want to have armed men with guns at our ballot box is to scare Latinos and hopefully blacks as well away from voting. That's why they want to do it. So why? What's the risk? The risk is a coup. The risk is literally electing people to office who were not elected in a massive, massive campaign of ending our elections in America. And people better be ready to respond if they try that. Trump erected a 20-foot gold statue of himself in real gold at his Doral resort in Florida. He claims it was put there by great American patriots. Do you think great American patriots just raised a 20-foot gold statue of Trump at his resort without permission? Really? And he's tweeting it. Again, inflation's going through the roof. The budget, the deficit is going through the roof. Our economy is in shambles, and Trump is tweeting. I don't think I even grabbed that tweet. I meant to grab it and I didn't. Trump is tweeting pictures of, do I have it here? Oh, I got it. What am I saying? Yeah, here we go. This is the crap. This came from the Telegraph. This is the crap. Look at this. And he's tweeting this. The real deal gold at Doral in Miami. Dude, inflation's going through the roof. and people are hurting, and you're sitting here tweeting 20-foot gold statues of yourself. Yeah. It's real. It's real. That's his own account. What else we got here? Kamala Harris is considering another presidential run. That worries me. I like her. I supported her. Donald Trump was an exception. Generally speaking, when you lose the election, you don't get to run again. Generally speaking, you have your chance, you move on. Because we don't know why you lost. We don't know, right? I can't check Truth Social. There's no way for me to check it. I don't have an account there. And I don't know what to check, so tell me what's going on. The problem is we don't know why she lost. And you won't know why she lost. Because that's, it could be anything, right? It could be the Russians. It could be people who didn't like her. It could be people liked him more. Who the hell knows? It could be inflation with Biden. They could have hated Biden. We don't know. That's why she doesn't run again. I don't think she should be in the primary. I don't think she should be there. Once you lose, you lose. Honestly, maybe the country wasn't ready for her. I mean, maybe either they didn't like her as her, or, she checks a couple boxes that maybe the country wasn't ready for. I don't know. But I think it's time for a fat white guy who's 60 years old, has been on some corporate boards and is really kind of just, fat white guy. That would make me happy at this point. Just win the election, and then we can go back to having even better. I love Pete, fat straight white guy. I'm going to go one step further. I adore Pete. Pete will make a great president, but Gavin Newsom needs to be fatter, needs to be older. He's not big enough. I mean, no, once you lose, you lose. Hillary's the same thing. I love Hillary. She lost. She got close, obviously, and they screwed her, but I still felt like, you know what? And also, Kamala Harris was not a great campaigner. She wasn't. She sucked at the debates. I don't know why she sucks at the debates. I really do like her. I think she's very smart, very impressed with her, but she tried. She tried and lost. Just my opinion. Joe Rogan. Listen to this, Joe Rogan. James Tallarico, who's the really good Democratic Senate candidate in Texas, the religious one. They were talking about Nick Fuentes, who's the kind of neo-Enzi white supremacist, but sympathetic to the Enzis and stuff. Far-right Republican. Trump actually invited him to Mar-a-Lago. I mean, and Trump, right? Oh, I didn't know who he was. You had lunch with him. I think you knew who he was. So Nick Fuentes, Tallarico says Nick Fuentes is a Holocaust denier. Joe Rogan, the big podcaster, responds, he's a denier? Or does he debate the numbers? Joe Rogan was trying to say that you're not a Holocaust denier if you simply say, I don't believe 6 million Jews were killed. I think it was a much smaller number. That doesn't make you a Holocaust denier. It just makes you a smart person who questions things. Actually, that makes you a Holocaust denier. It really does. Really, only bad people say that. Literally, people who hate Jews and don't believe in the Holocaust are the people who say they think the numbers are much smaller. You are a bad, bad, bad person if you think the numbers are much smaller. By the way, I watched the episode of where Nick Fuentes talked about that. Maybe he's done it on multiple episodes. I'm trying to think of, I've got to be careful how I even explain this because it was so bad. The episode was him sitting at his little desk. He has this little desk and a cityscape behind him. And he goes, oh, I shouldn't say this. So let's just say instead of Jews, we talk about cookies, he goes, chocolate chip cookies. And I have cookies burning in the oven. He's talking about cookies burning in his oven. And he's trying to talk about how many cookies he could burn in his oven at a time. And he's trying to do the math to prove that not that many Jews died. I mean, guys, it was disgusting. This is Nick Fuentes, who's the kind of neo-Enzi type white supremacist. This is what Joe Rogan is defending. This is literally what Joe Rogan's defending. He says, oh, he's a Holocaust denier or he just debates the numbers. That was the episode I watched of him debating the numbers. It was sickening what he did. Absolutely sickening. Again, do what you want with Israel and all that crap, right? Gaza, I don't care. But you start making jokes about Jews in ovens and you're a sick fuck. And for Joe Rogan to defend that is that's why people have a problem with Joe Rogan. Because I don't know if he's an extremist or he's just a brain dead idiot, but he says a lot of really stupid things. And when he's like the #1 podcaster out there, it's dangerous for him to basically suggest that Nick Fuentes isn't an extremist, that Nick Fuentes was just asking questions about math. No, he was actually saying horrific things, jokes about Jews burning in ovens. It was Nazi jokes in essence. I mean, you really don't get grosser than that. Let me look here. Oh, Trump's, I do want to show you two things. Trump's hands. So this was really fucked up. So this is a picture from Getty, from Anna Moneymaker at Getty. Aaron Rupar was sharing it. This is Trump a couple days ago. And again, it's a Getty image. It's a real image. And I want to show you the zoom. Okay, last weekend on Saturday morning, Trump had a urgent visit to the dentist that was unscheduled. He had to go to the dentist at his resort in Florida. And the White House said, oh, he had to run to the dentist this morning. And we're all going, he had an urgent Saturday morning dental visit? Really? That's a little weird, right? Oh, thank you, Mel. That's a little weird, but okay. Oh, the hands. Oh, that's funny. The hands, the fist bump. Okay, that was very funny. Mel had a topical gift to the discussion. I want to show you his. That's my dog as a puppy. Not my dog as a puppy, but she was very cute as a puppy. I want to show you Trump's hands. These are the pictures of Trump's hands, the latest pictures. The gunk on there is makeup to hide something, a bruise or something. Previously, this was only one hand that had this. Now, both of his hands have, this is even gross to show, both of his hands have now got this. It's got some massive bruising on both hands that he's hiding with makeup. But it was only one hand before. Now it's both hands. I mean, that's pretty fucked up stuff. The other thing I wanted to show you is the last story. Marco Rubio is visiting the Pope to try to make up, for Trump claiming he was Jesus Christ and then attacking the Pope and saying the Pope was going to get lots of Catholics hurt because the Pope wants Iran to have a nuclear weapon. And J.D. Vance suggested the Pope was a bad Catholic, which was my favorite there. J.D. Vance, who's a new Catholic, suggested that the Pope was a bad Catholic. I think my guess is the Pope is probably a better Catholic than J.D. Vance. But Marco Rubio then gets sent to the Vatican to meet the Pope and try to make things better. I want to show you the gift that Marco Rubio got the Pope, okay? The Pope gave Rubio some engraved thing with the Vatican seal on it, and it's something dealing with peace. I don't know if it's a branch. It's some symbol of peace that's metaphorical, right? Religious, and which is kind of cool. And it's from the Pope, and it has the Pope's seal. Pretty cool stuff. Was it a pen, though? I wasn't sure it was a pen. I couldn't tell what it was I saw the image, but I didn't know what it was. Olive wood? Okay, olive wood would make sense because it looked like a piece of wood. And olive is peace, which would make sense. Let me show you the video, and you'll see both of them, and then you'll see what Marco Rubio gave the Pope. Yeah, a bottle of Kash Patel scotch. That's what people were joking. Check this out, okay?
It's easier. This is a baseball guy, but and it has the seal of the State Department. So
okay. Okay.
To get someone who has everything, I thought
olive being, of course, plant of peace.
Right.
There's the coat of arms here of pontificate here, but
so it's some olive branch thing, the plant of peace with a certificate. So maybe it's grown in the Vatican. There's a certificate with it as well, right? And it's got the Vatican seal on it. I want you to look again carefully at what Marco Rubio gave the Pope. Okay?
Well, it's easier. This is a baseball guy, but
it's a football
it has the seal of the State Department,
with the seal of the State Department on it.
What to get someone who has everything? I thought
olive being.
And he goes, and the Pope goes, oh, okay. He gave him a glass football paperweight. It's a football with the State Department seal on it. A glass football. I mean, I don't even know what it's to the Pope. He goes, well, I thought, what do you get the man who has everything? How about you bring him an olive branch? Can you imagine if he brought him an olive branch? Literal olive branch, and said, But seriously, imagine that Rubio came in with an olive branch and said, "We are all for peace. You're for peace. We're for peace. You know, we would like nothing better than peace with Iran. But sometimes in order to have peace, you've got to stand up to people who don't want peace." But maybe you say that, but imagine if he brought an olive branch. The Pope would have loved an olive branch. An egg-shaped glass football with the, and Leo may prefer baseball. That's the thing. First of all, he was thinking, well, he's from Chicago and he likes the Bears, so it must be football. He likes football. Let's get him a football from the State Department. He likes the White Sox? That's funny. I didn't remember that. I mean, I just like, what to get the Pope? Oh, thank you, Cindy. That's another goat. We got another goat. Let me know which goat. What to get the Pope? You're the freaking Secretary of State and many other jobs. Why don't you ask around? How hard is it? You're the Secretary of State. You can actually, you have people who can figure out what gift to get the Pope, Man, I mean, what does Cindy know what kind of, big goat or hamster? Yeah, we can do both. We haven't done a big goat hamster. Here, let me try that. Not easy to get, hold on. I think now they're going after. They're bouncing off each other. Okay, stop! That's gonna drive me crazy. All right, that's always a fun idea. It doesn't always work, but it's a fun idea. Oh my God, football. He gave him a glass football. Oh God, you gotta love this guy. But exactly, and the Pope, of course, gave some really cool, although frankly, anything from the Pope is gonna be cool. But a cool olive branch for peace. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what, I don't know. I mean, he's into the Bears, but not the Bears. He's into Chicago sports. I think that's why he did the football. I think he's thinking, well, he's into sports. And it says that, mind you, the seal of the State Department. Who the hell wants the seal of the State Department? I mean, what do you do? Because you're at the State Department? But I also have to say, too, I'm a little surprised the State Department doesn't have anything more fun than a football. Or cooler than that? I mean, I don't know. Like some piece of American history or something? A taco shirt, yeah. I just don't, I don't get it. Yeah. I don't get it. I mean, gifts are nice, but I still can't figure out why you wouldn't. Well, exactly, like a moon rock. That's what I mean. Couldn't you find something really cool to give him? A moon rock would have been cool, actually. You're right about that. Something kind of, or a piece of rock from Mars, from one of, well, we wouldn't get it from our mission, though. Fair enough. But the moon rock we've got, I don't know. It just seems like the Pope, we could have dug up something. Hell, you could have regifted something cool, there you go. A patch from there you go. A patch from the most recent Artemis mission. That would be, there you go. That would have been cool. This is even better than a patch. How about a patch signed by all the astronauts for you, right? Imagine them each signing the patch knowing they were doing it for the Pope. That would be, that's a great idea. That would have been totally cool. That would have been absolutely, because first of all, the astronauts, I mean, I'm not Catholic. I still think that would be cool. Signing it for the Pope, totally cool. You're right. That would have been brilliant. But that requires forethought. Exactly. It requires you being a normal human being who doesn't go, how about we give him a glass football? Because, he likes baseball. Football's a sport. And it'll have but I love that. And it's got the seal of the State Department on it. Who the fuck cares that it's got the seal of the State Department on it? I mean, he's the Pope. The seal of the State Department. Ooh, cool. But no, you're right. It should have been something signed by the astronauts would have been really cool. Piece of marble from the ballroom, yeah. Blown glass. Anyway, oh my God. I know, I was thinking Chunk from the East Wing, but that might have been a little too gross. He could have given, I think Trump has given signed pictures of himself. I think he has. I don't recall now. Pretty sure. Anyway, oh my God. Anyway, so yeah, so Saturday morning is our coffee talk, remember? Our hangout we do at 11 o'clock Saturday morning. I do for the paid monthly subscribers. That's the super fans on TikTok and the members, I think they're called, on YouTube, Discord, Substack, same thing. Anybody who's a monthly subscriber. I do a special show Saturday morning, 11 a.m. Eastern Time, U.S. We hang, nothing in particular. It's just sort of a smaller group, and we hang and we talk, and it's quite fun. So join us. And then Monday at 1, I get sworn in as a Greek citizen. Well, around then, which will be quite exciting. So you'll still see me tomorrow, but then by Monday when I'm back, I will be Greek and American. Very exciting. So, yay. Still has me nervous something's going to go wrong. But hopefully not. So, oh yeah, Janice, yeah, I got approved a month ago. Yeah. Shockingly, I was very surprised. I was like, because also I was afraid it was going to Zon. I know they're calling me Zon. My Greek passport is going to have my name down as Zon. Because I'm John George Aravosis in English. It's going to be Zon George Aravosis. And Aravosis is my name in Greek. It was a little bit of a fight to get them to spell my name correctly in Greek. Thank you, Janice. Oh, flowers. Thank you, Janice. Much better than an acrylic football. I appreciate that. My bouquet flowers for my victory. Yeah, so, but they have to, because I wasn't born in Greece and there's no Greek documents, and I don't know why they do this, they won't translate your name into Greek. They insist that your name be exactly as it is on your birth certificate, so my name has to be Zon, like John, Zon in Greek, Tzon. Then it gets weirder. The Greek passports, of course, have to have English letters and Greek letters because nobody can read Greek outside of Greece. So it's going to have my name in English, this one, but they're going to fix this. They're going to have my name in English, which actually, hold on a second. I've got to make sure. I know I did put this in my notes. I have notes for that day so I don't forget. And now as I'm telling you, I'm remembering, hang on here, to make sure that I did put this in my notes. One second here. Shit. Where is it? All right, I'm writing myself notes here so I don't forget. I had somewhere put, come on. Ugh, my iPad, of course, is having issues with its memory again. Somewhere with my notes, I think I wrote that down so I don't forget. What are you doing? Oh, my God. There it is. Oh, my God. Okay. Oh, here we go. Yes, I've got it here. Yeah, you know what? My iPad must be syncing. Okay. It does this when I start it, and it kind of sits there and freezes. But in any case, yes. So what you've got to make sure when you get the Greek passport is it's going to have my name in Greek, but Zon George. Then it's going to oh, hang on. Oh, there we go. Yeah. Then it's going to have pin note. There we go. Then it's going to have my name in English as Tzon for John. And I don't want my name in English to be Tzon because that's not going to match my airplane ticket. So what they do is, thank God, you have to ask them to give you a third version, which is what your American birth certificate says, which is JOHN. So they give you like your name in Greek, your transliterated name, which means just phonetic, and then the actual name in English. So you have 3 names on your passport. Because otherwise, I'm Zon George in English, and my name is not Zon. I feel like I'm like in a Superman movie, bow down before Zon. You know? It's like, oh my God. Anyway. Yes, I have not rebooted this one. Although this one, actually, the problem is when I turn on the iPad, it refreshes the notes. And the notes always freeze things up. Anyway, so that's what's up with me on Monday with my Greek thing. So I don't need a witness. I'm going to have a friend come because I kind of wanted somebody to come with just because my family's not here, obviously, in D.C. But I also wanted him to take like a video of it and get some photos. Now, we'll see how he does. I don't know how Matt is with taking video. Like, I'm good at taking videos and photos. Not everybody is. So, but I thought, it'd be nice to at least attempt to get it. So, Any updates on what's happening in Iran? Yes, the entire beginning of the show, we talked about it for about half an hour. What's going on is we're blowing each other up, and Trump is claiming, oh, ceasefire is not over. The ceasefire is still going. We're just blowing each other up. So that's what happened. Iran fired at our ships today, and we fired back. But Iran is still considering our peace proposal. It's all over the place. It's absolutely all over the place. Yes, we actually went by Justin. Justin said the former East Wing is now a toxic dump on a D.C. public golf course. Literally toxic levels of load and chromium tested multiple times, quite deadly. Oh, that's hilarious. We actually went there. We actually, I didn't tell you, did I tell you this? A friend and I went in search of the East Wing of the White House, and we found the dump yard out in Maryland where they processed it. And they told us they weren't, they said basically, they said we don't have it anymore. We destroyed it and it's in a dump. They told us where the dump was. We went to the dump, but the dump had already buried it. But we found the mounds. They look like those mounds in England or where the kings are, or in Lord of the Rings where the kings are buried in the mounds. That's what it looks like. And so we went and checked it out, but they told us even if we had it, we couldn't let you go through it because we'd get in trouble. We were like, come on, you must have some garbage I said, we just want anything from the West Wing. And they were like, even if we did, we couldn't let you. We're like, come on. We had a nice talk to the guy ago. But yeah, they've got, they had already buried it by the time we went there, but I didn't know it was toxic. Oh God. I mean, I assume it has asbestos, but the other stuff too. Jesus Christ. Lead and chromium. That is not hilarious though, but wow. Yeah, it's next to a golf course. Actually, the golf course, ironically, might be the golf course that Donald Trump has taken hold of, because Trump and golf courses. I think it might be the golf course that he's put his mitts on. Right next to it is the dump of the East Wing. But yeah, we drove around town all day tracking it down. It would have made a nice story, but how old was that part of the building? At least 1900. Yep. Yes, when I start growing a third ear, you will know why. It's groceries. It's groceries, Groceries, a word people don't use anymore. It means food in a bag. Anyway. Oh, we're almost done, actually. It's 7:14 already. Putin is now ordering the grandstand at the big parade removed. Oh, that's great. The Ukrainians have freaked him out. Good for them. Good for them. Putin's doing his big May 9th. It's in 2 days, Saturday. May 9th parade where the Russians pretend like they saved the world in World War II, but they actually were collaborators with the Nazis and then invaded and took over half of Europe and enslaved it for half a century. That's the great liberators Russia was. They enslaved half the freaking continent for 45 years. And they literally started the war by giving the Nazis permission to start the war. But great Russians, great country. They hold a big parade every May 9th to brag that they were allies of the Nazis, basically. And they wanted a ceasefire, and the Ukrainians were not thrilled about giving them a ceasefire, but the Ukrainians said, okay, we're doing a ceasefire first. And Russia bombed a kindergarten and just bombed the hell out of the Ukrainians when the Ukrainians asked for a ceasefire. So Ukrainians said, okay, you bombed us for our ceasefire, we're going to bomb you for yours. And Putin's now freaking out. Putin's already been freaking out, but that's hilarious. Actually, let me look for that. I want to see if I can find anything on that. That is absolutely hilarious. Hang on. Let me look. See if I can pull this up. May 9 Putin. He's already afraid of dying a lot. Yeah, Russia ramps up threats towards Ukraine over Victory Day parade. No tanks, no internet, simmering discontent. Putin to host nervous May 9th parade. All the stories here about why the Russians are terrified. This is really funny. Kremlin officials say a large strike on Kyiv would be inevitable if Ukraine disrupted the May 9th event. Duh. I mean, okay, that's just stupid. Like, sometimes the Russians, I don't know what they're thinking. Like, oh no, you mean now that Russia has said it would retaliate if the Ukrainians attacked the May 9th parade, Now Ukraine's not going to do it because who knew the Russians might retaliate? Of course the Russians are going to retaliate if Ukraine attacks the parade. Do you know what I mean? Like, what are the Russians thinking? Like, that's a credible threat, right? Yeah, we're going to retaliate. Oh, we never thought you'd retaliate. I mean, what are we, Donald Trump? We never thought they'd retaliate. Like, right? Of course you know they'd retaliate. On Thursday, the ministry reiterated that advice and said that embassies should take with the utmost seriousness its recommendations to leave Kyiv in a timely manner. The escalation in rhetoric, which celebrates the Soviet Union, let me see here. Zelensky called it odd that some foreign representatives intended to travel to Moscow for the parade, saying Ukraine, quote, did not recommend it. At the very least, they're doing a major psychological war here. Oh, this is funny. We did this against Dr. Laura, actually. Friends and I did this whole campaign to get Dr. Laura Schlesinger kicked off of TV 25 years ago. Successful, thank you. And one of the things we did was, for the opening of her show, like the first week it was starting, I was talking to the Associated Press, and because I was a spokesman for the campaign, and I talked to the Associated Press, and I forgot exactly what it was, but I basically told them, we put the word out there that because they were doing a public like auction for tickets because they wanted big crowds. So I said, okay, you can sign up online for your tickets. So we signed up, and we made it clear in a press release that we were signing up. And because who knows who might, I said, because it could be a really exciting first show, more exciting than anybody planned. I said something like that in my press release. And the AP reporter said, are you planning on disrupting her show? And I said, oh, I could never say that. Or something like that. But I kept giving these cagey quotes, and she's like, come on. And I said, off the record, that would be a really cool thing to do that we certainly would look forward to doing. On the record, oh, I just couldn't say. Have a great show, but have a great show. So they put that in the AP story, and they were convinced we didn't have tickets, but we made them think that we had tickets to disrupt. Within 2 weeks, our show was canceled. It was fabulous. At least in Canada, the Canadians, oh my God, the Canadians were amazing. The Canadians got her canceled in 2 weeks, and we got her, it took a couple months for us to get her canceled. But anyway, that was a whole amazing campaign. We kicked ass on that one. That was pretty cool. It was about 5 or 6 of us who did that. Robin Tyler, Alan Klein, me, Joe Lawson. We were like the main 4. There were a couple more that helped us. I'm forgetting who they were. Oh, William Wayborn. Oh my God, William. William was one of the main 5, yeah. It was pretty cool. We had fun. Anyway. All right, guys, I'm going to go. It's 7:19. Thank you for joining us tonight. I will be back tomorrow at 6 o'clock Eastern. So join me then. And then otherwise Saturday, me then. Means 0 in Greek. But join me tomorrow night at 6 o'clock Eastern. And then we've got Saturday morning. Remember, anybody who's a paid monthly subscriber, TikTok, YouTube, Discord, Substack. Saturday at 11 a.m. we've got our special show. But I will be back tomorrow night anyway. And then, and the dog wants it. Okay, yep. You tired of eating my plants? Hi. All right. All right, I'm going to sign off, guys. Thanks for joining. Have a good evening. We'll start with Substack. Oh, no, Discord. Sorry, Discord's first. All right, Discord. See you guys. Thank you for joining us. Us, me and my dog and the mods. Oop, hang on. There it is. There it is. Okay, by Discord. All right, Substack and YouTube. You're next. See you guys. Thank you.